Hello, survivors! I have to say that like every time I'm going to do a video now. That's my thing. Hello, survivors! We're surviving. So I just want to do, I'm going to try to make it a quick video, but I just want to say thank you to all the support. When I started doing these videos, I really was doing them because when my daughters chose to live with my ex, my soon-to-be ex, my soon-to-be divorced ex, soon, God willing, when I left that narcissistic relationship, it was due to me having ventricular tachycardia, which is a rhythm that is caused by PVC, premature ventricular contraction, and basically it can become a fibrillation, a ventricular fibrillation, and that can cause death. So because I was having those issues with my heart, I was under stress at home and I needed to be in a situation where I was safe. And so I had to leave my home. I had to leave my daughters because they wanted to be with their dad. And I started doing these videos almost like a vlog to them. I mean, I never said that before, but really that's what it was, because I wanted to get out there what was going on in my head, what was going on in my body. I wanted them to understand. I didn't want them to think that I just abandoned them. So unfortunately, I ended up, being on short-term disability for, I want to say it's been 12 weeks. But the good news is, survivors, we are gonna survive this. That is the mission. That is my prayer. I want to survive this. And I just am so blessed today. I had a hard morning, but I went to my doctor's appointment to get my results of my nuclear stress test after my cardiac ablation for my VTAC and for my SVT. That you can look up what VTAC and SVT is. I don't want to go into that. We'll do another video about it. But basically, it's a cardiac arrhythmia that can cause death. And so I was seeing them so often, I needed to have an ablation. And I have a monitor on right now that is a cam monitor that records what's going on with my heart. And even though I have not gotten the results, I have not finished with monitoring, I have another week. Today I saw my cardiologist after I did a nuclear stress test, and I also did an echo and a whole bunch of other tests with Methodist Hospital. I finally have my release form, meaning that I can go back to work. I can get off short-term disability. Now, I still have to, let me just say this. I still have to go tomorrow to my primary care, who literally was one of the reasons why I went on short-term disability, because she was like, you've got, really bad situation with your heart. I also had diverticulitis infection that was not trying to resolve itself. And I want to say one more thing before I even start giving my accolades, which I do want to give accolades to the medical profession with this. One of the reasons why I started these videos, because I wanted my daughters to understand that I really was getting sick. It wasn't just me having lupus flares, because I do have lupus. It wasn't just me having, high blood pressure, because I had that. It was me having internalization, I was internalizing the stress. I was internalizing what was going on at home, and it was making me sick. And the only saving grace that I had, I love my job. I love what I do, which I'll do a video about that. But it was like God gave me people that were literally like angels, giving me reassurance that I'm going to get through this. And my job was one of the things that got me through it. But when it got to the point where I really needed to be on short-term disability, I hated having to do it, because I missed my job. I missed my employees. I'm sorry, not employees, my coworkers. I missed what I did for a living. I missed giving back to anyone who was having health issues by reading their scans, their cardiac monitor scans, which is what I do, and being a part of teaching CPR classes, which is nothing I do, with the American Heart Association. I missed it because I felt like that was the only thing I had besides my daughters. So I'm so happy that I'm able to go back to work now. and I'm able to be like a normal person again, because I have, thank God to Methodist Hospital, thank God to the doctors, Dr. Mathura, Dr. Mazar, and my new doctor, Dr. Daya, and Memorial Katie Cardiology Associates, and also, of course, to my job, Barney Diagnostics, CAM, readers, all the readers that are there, Baxter International. Like, I just want to say thank you to all of them, because it has been so difficult recovering, but I want my daughters to know that there is hope, there's survivorship, and I cannot say it enough for those people who are going through this. Maybe they're having premature ventricular contractions because of stress, or maybe they're having it because of a cardiac genetic problem like I've had with my situation that was triggered by stress, or maybe they're just, had it because of damage to their heart. Whatever the reason, they were having the PVCs that turned to VTAC, or the atrial fibrillation that I used to have, or all these things that can cause your heart to be in a deadly rhythm. There is a survivorship afterwards. And I want to say this before we end the video. The one thing my doctor did say, like, I'm going to give you your release to go back to work. I'm going to give that. But he said, stress can be a factor. My gastroenterologist with my diverticulitis said the same thing. And the nurse practitioner wrote a very nice letter to the courts. They did not pay attention to it, but it was a really nice letter that she wanted to explain that perforation can happen with diverticulitis. That's why I had to take off time from work. That's why I had to be in the hospital. That's why I needed to have some time to recover. But the thing is this, people don't understand that the gut, it's all related. If you have stress in your body, yes, it does affect your heart. That heart problem can cause an electrical problem with your heart. Now remember, I'm going to talk about this in another video, but your heart is made of energy. That energy is electricity, okay? So you're going to get a signal that the heart needs to do something. Like the heart is the pump. It needs to pump blood through the body in order for you to live. And it has to have a good electrical signal to signal that, that rhythm. And when it doesn't have a good electrical signal and it has an arrhythmia, which is an irregular heartbeat, it can cause major problems that can cause death. And sometimes it can be because of being older, it can be because of being on medications, it can be because of having a genetic problem, it can be because of stress. So when they say stress kills, this is what they're talking about. And when you're dealing with someone who has lupus or someone that has other autoimmune illnesses, it's going to be even harder for them to recover. But when you have diverticulum, which is a part of your gut, they're like little pouches. When they get inflamed, and when we have inflammation that causes infection in your gut, and that can be because of stress, it can be because of diet, it can be because of many other things. But stress also, because it may be here in your head, the stress, and it may move down to your heart, the stress, because your heart is going to be stressed out. Your blood pressure can be increased, which causes inflammation, which may cause a lupus flare. Then you take your steroid medication for the lupus flare, and then it gets into your gut, and your gut begins to get inflamed and get infected. And then you have a diverticulitis, which is different than just having diverticulitis. Diverticulitis, itis means infection. And when you have that, it will shut your body down to the point where you're like, I cannot eat anything. I can't keep it down. I can't get out of bed. I mean, it really takes you out. The same way that your heart, when it has a severe rhythm like atrial fibrillation or VTAC or ventricular fibrillation, and you can Google these things. You don't have to take my word for it. But when I was experiencing these things all in tandem, it put me in the hospital. And when it put me in the hospital, and I'm like thinking, I'm gonna die, I got my last rites done, because I was like, I'm not gonna survive this. But something inside me, deep down inside, maybe it was the desire to tell my story, maybe it was the desire to get my kids, my daughters especially, to know that there is life after this. Diverticulitis is very, very hard. They wanted to think they were gonna give me a colonoscopy bag, a colonoscopy bag, which is basically a surgery where they take, because it was like right here, they take out your colon, they resection it, and they put a bag for you to like have your bowel movement basically come out of, which is horrible. And I was like, oh God, please don't let me have that. And the doctor said, well, it's up to you. You've got to rest your colon. You've got to stay in the hospital. You've got to like follow the instructions. You can't, like, I wasn't able to eat anything but a liquid diet. I really wasn't eating anything. And so by the grace of God, I didn't get a colonoscopy bag. Like, thank you. By the grace of God, I didn't get a pacemaker for my heart. I just had to have the heart surgery. By the grace of God, I'm still here. But more importantly, Methodist Hospital. And to be at a hospital where they also, as a Catholic, they also send someone to give you last rites and someone to pray with you and do the rosary with you and give you Eucharist. I mean, that's a blessing too. So all hail to God and all of the angels that helped me. I had a landlord that like literally helped me to make sure that, you know, she prayed with me. My landlord prayed with me because she knew I was going through such a hard time. My boss, cannot say enough about that man. He's a young man and he was there for me, helping me through this time. My co-workers were there for me. And to have a place where you go to work and you know they're doing good work for other people like you, just makes you want to get back to work. So I'm so grateful that tomorrow I'm going to see my primary care doctor, Dr. Hong. And I love Dr. Tracy Hong, and I love her staff. I love everybody there at her office because they've also been a great support. So I'm going to go tomorrow, and I know she's going to give me my paperwork to go back to work. Now, it doesn't mean that I have 100%, like, I still have this, I still have to finish, I think, one more week of this, and then they have to give me my results of what my cardiac monitor says. But, you know, I just have a really good faith in God. And I just believe that my story has to be told. So I'm writing a book so I can show my daughters, look, mommy survived this. And I want you guys out there. If you have a story to tell, tell your story. Get it out there. This narcissistic abuse can be deadly. But there's a way out. And I want to be a shining beacon to people who are like saying, like, you can't do it, you can do it. And I say it to you because I'm saying it to myself in my head. And there are times where I'm like worrying, like, is it gonna work? It worked. So today was a good day for me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you to all the people who watch my little videos that are really made for my daughters and my children as a time capsule for them to say, this is what mommy was thinking about. Because we all have a time where we're not gonna be here, but these videos can be for someone else to get this help that they need. Therapy is great. Dr. Rodney's book, It's Not You, is a great book to read. Getting a journal and journaling is also great. And watch my other videos because I try to give as much information about things as I can. And my next video is going to be more focusing on, you know, what are these illnesses about that I discuss, and I'm going in detail a little bit more about them. I'm going to try to spend 5 minutes on each of them so you can understand a little better. So God bless y'all. But I just wanted to say, I am about to get back to work, and I'm going to be off short-term disability so I can actually have my life back. And I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. If I have inspired you in any way, anything I said like helped you in any way, give me a thumbs up. Share my video with someone who you think might need this kind of encouragement. And I want you to remember, it ain't over till it's over. And so please remember, you're going to survive it. That is my goal with these videos, to show you that these little stories of survival are something that you can hold on to in your time of need. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and thank you so much for hearing me. God bless you.